My beloved child, stop for just a moment. Not because the world demands it, not because someone told you to, but because something deep within your spirit has been stirring. That stirring is not random. That quiet pull you have been feeling. That unexplainable draw towards something greater than what you can see. That is me reaching into the rhythm of your ordinary life to meet you in an extraordinary way. You did not stumble upon this moment by accident. Long before today was ever written into the calendar of history, I knew this was the hour I would speak to you. I arranged it. I made room for it in the middle of your chaos. And now here you are. And here I am. And this is not coincidence. This is appointment. I want you to truly receive what I am about to say. There are certain moments in a person's life that carry more eternal weight than others. They are pivot points, thresholds, holy interruptions that divide time into before and after. Most people walk past them without recognizing them for what they are. But you, my child, you are going to recognize this one, because I am making it known to you right now. This is one of those sacred thresholds. This is a moment carved out of eternity and placed inside your today for a reason. If you open your heart and let these words take root, something in you is going to shift. A season of clarity is ahead of you. A season of answered prayer and realized purpose is drawing near. But it begins here in this moment with this choice to lean in rather than walk away. Think about the people I have always called in moments just like this. Moses was tending sheep, a routine he had kept for 40 years. When a bush caught fire and refused to burn out, he could have kept walking. He could have explained it away with logic and moved on with his day. But something inside him said, turn aside and see. And in that turning, his destiny was unveiled. Samuel was barely a boy learning to sleep in the house of the Lord. When he heard his name spoken 3 times in the night, he did not know it was me at first, but he answered. And that answer launched a lifetime of prophetic purpose. Mary was going about her ordinary life when an angel appeared with news that defied everything natural reason would accept. And yet she said yes, not because she fully understood, but because her heart was open. Do you see the pattern? I do not always call from mountaintops. I call from burning bushes. I call in the quiet of the night. I call in the interruption of an ordinary afternoon. And I am calling you now. If you feel something rising in your chest as you receive these words, if you feel a warmth you cannot quite explain or a peace that is settling over you, even though nothing in your circumstances has changed, please know that is not imagination. That is my presence confirming what your spirit already knows. I am here. I am near. I am speaking, and you were always meant to hear this. If this is landing in your heart right now, take a moment and leave a comment below. Let others know you are receiving this word today. Sometimes the simple act of saying yes opens a door that has been waiting on the other side of your surrender. My child, let me speak to you about the world you are living in right now. I know what surrounds you every single day. I know the relentless pace, the noise that never quite goes quiet, the screens that glow with 100 competing voices all demanding your attention at the same time. I know you wake up some mornings already exhausted before the day has even begun. Already behind, already overwhelmed, already pulled in directions you did not choose. And I know how easy it is in the middle of all of that for my voice to get buried. For the quiet, gentle truth, I am always speaking to get drowned out by the volume of everything else. I want you to understand something. Not every voice that calls to you is trustworthy. Not every path that looks bright before you leads to life. There is one who watches your journey closely, not out of love, but out of strategy. He knows that if he cannot destroy you directly, the next best thing is to distract you. Fill your life with noise. Fill your calendar with urgency. Fill your mind with anxiety about things that have not even happened yet. Keep you busy. Keep you distracted. Keep you exhausted. And you will never have the stillness needed to truly hear me. Distraction is one of his oldest and most effective tools. But I want you to know that clarity, deep, unshakable clarity, is one of my greatest gifts to you. This is why I am breaking through right now. Not to add more words to the chaos, but to cut through it entirely. To take you by the hand and lead you to a place of stillness inside your own spirit. You were not created for the kind of scattered, fragmented existence the world is selling you. You were created to walk in steady, anchored communion with me, like a tree planted by rivers of living water. You were designed to be rooted so deeply that no wind could uproot you, and no drought could wither what I have planted in you. But trees do not grow roots in running water. They grow roots in stillness. The world has told you that your value is measured by your output, your pace, your productivity. But I never told you that. I did not design you to run on empty, always performing, always producing, always proving. I designed you to rest in me, to find in my presence the renewal that no amount of hustle can manufacture. And so I am inviting you today into a holy exchange. You bring me your noise, and I will give you my peace. You bring me your scattered thoughts, and I will give you my clarity. You bring me your fears, and I will replace them with a courage that does not depend on circumstances. My voice will not shout over the world to compete with it. It does not work that way. My voice is steady and sure and patient. It is the voice that speaks in the early hours when everything is quiet. It is the whisper behind the sudden peace you felt on a hard day and could not explain. It is the comfort that arrived when no one else was there. That was me. I have never stopped speaking. You only need to quiet yourself enough to hear. And when you do, you will find that I have been saying the same thing all along. You are mine. You are loved. You are not forgotten. And I am not done with you yet. If that truth is something your heart needed to hear today, let someone know by leaving a like on this video. It is a small thing, but small things have a way of multiplying when they are rooted in the right soil. My beloved child, I want to show you something. Picture an open door. Not a door made by human hands. Not a door unlocked by your own effort or cleverness. A door that I have set before you with my own hand, fashioned in the secret place, prepared for this exact season of your life. It stands open right now, and no one can shut it. No opposition has the authority to seal it. No enemy has the power to block it, because the one who placed it there is the same one who holds all authority in heaven and on earth. I know you have waited a long time. I know there were seasons when breakthrough seemed close enough to touch, and then pulled back just out of reach. I know you carried promises in your heart through years that made those promises feel foolish. I know the weight of believing for something you could not yet see. But hear me, my child. Delay is not denial. A door that has not yet been walked through is not a door that has been closed. Sometimes I let you stand before an open door for a season so that you will enter it with the strength that only patience can build, with the character that only perseverance can produce. You were not ready then, but the waiting has been doing something in you that was necessary. And now the time has shifted. The door before you right now is real. It leads somewhere you have prayed about, somewhere you have dared to hope for in the quiet of your own heart. Even when you were afraid to say it out loud, walk through it with boldness. Walk through it understanding that I am the one who opened it, and I am the one who goes before you into whatever lies on the other side. You do not have to see the whole path. You only have to take the next step, and the step after that will become clear as you walk. I also want to tell you something about what I have been building in you through the difficult seasons. Every promise I have spoken over your life carries a weight, and weight requires a vessel that can hold it. I have been strengthening your vessel. I have been expanding your capacity. The trials that pressed in on you from every side were not meant to break you. They were the very pressure that forms diamonds. The fire that felt like it was consuming you was never out of my control. It was the fire that refines. And now what remains in you after all of that burning is the purest version of the faith I planted there in the beginning. That faith is about to move mountains, and I want you to receive that truth fully today. My child, there is a battle that most people are not fully awake to. It is not fought with weapons of metal or fought on geographic borders. It takes place in the unseen, in the realm of spirit, and it is more real than anything your eyes can verify. I want to speak to you about this because too many of my children walk through their lives treating their struggles as ordinary frustrations, when they are actually something far more significant. The one who opposes you has studied the call I placed on your life. He has seen the weight of what I designed you to carry into the earth. And he knows that when you rise fully into the identity I have given you, when you walk in complete surrender and complete fire, the impact will be felt across generations. That is why the opposition in your life has sometimes felt disproportionate to your circumstances. It is not because you are weak. It is because you are powerful in me. He fights hardest against those who surrender would release the most glory. But hear me on this clearly. He is not sovereign. I am. He can form weapons, but I have promised they will not prosper against you. He can whisper lies into the quiet spaces of your mind, but my truth is louder than every accusation he can manufacture. For every shadow he casts, my light breaks through stronger. For every trap he sets, I have already provided a way out. You are not fighting this battle alone, and you are not fighting it unequipped. I have clothed you in armor that no spiritual force can penetrate. The truth of who I am is your belt holding everything together. My righteousness worn over your heart is a breastplate, the faith I have grown in you through every trial, a shield that extinguishes every fiery lie thrown at you. The knowledge of your salvation is a helmet protecting your mind. My own word is a sword, the only offensive weapon you need, and the covering of constant prayer that keeps the channel between us open and flowing. You must not treat your inner battles as ordinary, the heaviness that descends without obvious cause, the confusion that clouds your mind in moments of decision, the sudden waves of fear or despair that seem to come from nowhere. These are not random. Awaken to the reality of the war around you, not so that you live in fear, but so that you stop fighting spiritual battles with natural weapons. You cannot think your way out of a spiritual attack. You cannot manage your way past a demonic strategy. But you can pray. You can speak my word. You can stand in the identity I have given you. And in that standing something shifts in the unseen. I reveal this not to fill your heart with dread, but to fill it with fire. There is a difference between fear of the battle and fire for the battle. Fear makes you smaller. Fire makes you dangerous to the enemy's plans and useful in my hands. You are not a victim in this war. You are a warrior who has been fully equipped, fully called, and fully backed by the one who has already secured the outcome. Stand in that. Lift your head in that. And let the courage I am placing in your spirit right now be what leads you forward from this day. Now I want to speak to something that has wounded many of my children deeply. The times I was silent. The seasons when you cried out to me and the heavens seemed closed. When your prayers felt like they hit the ceiling and fell back to the floor unheard. When the silence of your room was heavier than anything you could put into words. You began to ask yourself questions you were almost afraid to voice. Does he hear me? Has he turned away? Is he even there, my child? I heard every single prayer, every whisper, every broken, wordless cry that you could only offer through tears because you had no language left for what you were feeling. I was not absent in those seasons. I was present in a way that does not always feel like presence, but is no less real. My silence was never abandonment. My quiet was never neglect. There are times when I speak in ways that thunder and shake the room, but there are also times when I work in the hidden, in the deep places, in the slow and invisible processes of transformation that cannot be rushed and cannot be seen with the natural eye. In the silence, I was shaping the roots of your faith. In the quiet, I was stretching the capacity of your trust. I was removing false supports, things you had been leaning on that could not carry what I was about to place in your hands, so that when the weight of what I promised arrived, you would be standing on something unshakable. The silence you experienced was not empty. It was full of my activity. You just could not see it yet. Do you remember the moments when strength appeared in you out of nowhere at a time when you were certain you had nothing left? That was me. Do you remember the peace that settled over you unexpectedly? In the middle of a crisis, when by all logic you should have been falling apart? That was me. Do you remember the person who showed up at exactly the right moment with exactly the right word? That was also me, working through what was available, close enough to hold you even when you could not feel my hands. Look at those I have walked with through long silences. Joseph carried a dream into a prison cell and sat there for years with no visible sign that the dream was still alive. Yet, in that silence, I was positioning every piece of a plan that would eventually save nations. David ran through wilderness and hidden caves, pursued by a king who wanted him dead, waiting for a throne I had already promised. The waiting shaped him from a boy with a slingshot into a man who could carry a kingdom. And even my son in the darkest moment of the cross cried out in the pain of felt separation. Yet in that very silence, the greatest rescue in all of history was unfolding in real time. Silence does not mean inactivity. It means I am working in ways that cannot be observed, in depths that your eyes cannot yet reach. And I want you to know that the silence in your life, Whatever season of waiting you have walked through was never wasted. Not a day of it. Not a single tear shed into it. Every moment of it was being used. Every quiet hour was being transformed into something that will serve the next chapter of your life in ways you do not yet have categories to understand. The good news I am bringing you today is this. The silence is shifting. The waiting season is changing its texture. The prayers you offered into what felt like empty air are not lost. They have been collected, they have been held, and the answers are closer to you right now than they have ever been. What you thought I had forgotten, I have been keeping. What you assumed was dead, I have been tending. Receive this with your whole heart. And if it speaks to something you have been carrying quietly for a long time, tell me in the comments. I want to hear from you today, my child. I also want you to look at the world around you with clear eyes. What you are witnessing in the nations, in the structures that once seemed permanent, in the cultural and political and social foundations that people have trusted for generations, is not random chaos. It is the shaking I spoke of long before this generation was born. Everything that can be shaken is being shaken so that what is unshakable may remain. The things built on the wrong foundation, built on pride, built on the shifting sand of human wisdom, built on the illusion of self-sufficiency, they are coming down. Not because I am angry, but because I love this world too much to let it continue building on what cannot hold. People will look for security and wealth and find that it is more fragile than they believed. They will trust in systems that are suddenly exposed as hollow. They will lean on the certainty of what they know and discover that human knowledge has edges where the unknown begins. This is the hour of stripping and revealing. It is uncomfortable. It is disorienting for those who do not know where to look. But for you, my child, this does not have to be a season of fear. It can be a season of clarity. Because when everything false is removed, what remains is real. And I am real. I do not shake. I do not crumble. I am the same yesterday, and today, and into every tomorrow that has not yet arrived. In the middle of a shaking world, you are called to be someone who does not shake. Not because you are made of stronger material than everyone around you, but because you are rooted in something the shaking cannot reach. This is why I have been building your roots in the quiet seasons. This is why I let the silence press in around you and teach you to trust what you could not see. I was preparing you for this moment in history. I was making you into someone who could stand steady when the ground around them trembles. Someone who could extend a hand to those who are falling. Someone who could point to me when people are desperately looking for something that holds. You are not an accident of your generation. You were placed here on purpose. For a purpose, the exact moment in history you inhabit was chosen for you. And you were chosen for it. The gifts I built into you. The experiences I have taken you through. The patience I have grown in you through the hard seasons. All of it has been preparation for the role you are meant to play right now. In this hour, in this shaking. Do not shrink from it. Do not look at the size of what is happening in the world and decide that your contribution is too small to matter. The ones who changed the course of history are rarely the ones who appeared the most powerful at the start. They are the ones who said yes when they were called. They are the ones who stayed faithful when faithfulness was hard. They are the ones who kept their roots in me when everything around them was being uprooted. That is you. That can be you. That is who I created you to be, my beloved child. I want to close by speaking directly to your heart in this moment. I know the version of yourself you see when you look in the mirror. I know the list you carry in your mind of all the reasons you are not enough. Not ready. Not qualified. Not capable of what I am calling you toward. I know the weight of your past mistakes and the way they whisper to you that certain doors are closed because of what you have done or not done. I know the fear underneath your faith, the doubt underneath your hope, the exhaustion underneath your smile. And I want you to hear me say this as clearly as I have ever said anything to you. None of that disqualifies you. Not one failure, not one season of wandering, not one moment of doubt or weakness or falling short. The people I have used most powerfully in history were not the most polished or the most prepared. They were the most willing. Moses had a stutter and a past he was running from. Gideon called himself the weakest member of the weakest family. Peter denied knowing me 3 times in one night, and I chose every single one of them. Not despite what they lacked, but because what I place inside a willing heart is always more than enough to accomplish what I have planned. I picked you for this. Not as a consolation prize, not as a backup plan. I picked you deliberately, specifically, knowing everything about you, the good and the difficult and the in-between. And I said, this one. This is the one I am sending. This is the one I am equipping. This is the one who is going to carry my heart into the places I need to reach. You were not assigned to this life by mistake. Every detail of your story, including the parts you wish you could change, has been woven into a plan that is bigger than what your human perspective can currently see. So rise, not in your own strength, because I know that some days your own strength feels like it has run out. Rise in mine. Rise knowing that I go before you and behind you, and I am the covering over your head. Rise knowing that the outcome of your life is not determined by the size of your faith on your worst days, but by the faithfulness of the one who called you. I am not unstable. I do not change my mind about you. I do not revoke my call when you stumble. I am the God who finishes what I start, and I started something in you that I intend to complete. This message found you because I wanted it to. This word landed in your path because I arranged it. I do not want you to scroll past this moment and forget it by tonight. I want it to plant something in you that is still growing a year from now. I want you to look back on this day and recognize it as one of those thresholds. One of those turning points where something shifted in you because you were willing to stop and receive. If you are ready to step into what I am calling you toward, if you are willing to lay down the weight of what has been holding you back and walk through the open door I have placed before you, then make that decision right now in your heart. Speak it. Say yes to me in whatever way feels real and true in this moment. And then share this word with someone who needs to hear it today. There is someone in your life, maybe more than one, who is standing in a hard season and wondering if I see them. Wondering if they matter. Wondering if the waiting will ever end. Be the one who puts this in front of them. Let me use you to reach them the same way I reached you today. You are seen. You are known. You are loved with a love that has no beginning and no end and no condition attached. You are not wandering without a guide. You are not waiting without a purpose. You are not fighting without backup. I am with you. I have always been with you. And I am not going anywhere. Go forward from this moment carrying the full weight of that truth, and watch what I do next in your life.